Yo, 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 what's going on? 1 2 1 2 1 2. It's your boy Jason Atkins. Here again, back again. I'm gonna. This video is gonna be about this. It's gonna touch on the Kendrick Lamar performance, but it's also gonna talk about, you know, the Kendrick Lamar performance is it's part of a larger picture, of something I've been talking about in different, conversations and stuff I've had over the years. Um, just about, you know, this whole in the context of, my thing. If y'all know me, y'all know I'm real into music, all kinds of music, different types of music. You know, I'm a rock guy. I'm a hip hop guy. I'm a jazz guy. I'm a music guy. Just music in general, just different genres, different eras. I'm into the whole thing. It's all beautiful. I see the genius in all of it. But the focus, for this conversation is going to be some shit I've been seeing for about, I don't know, about 40 years, getting close to 40 years or so. About two generations, inching up on two generations, two full generations of uh, degeneracy and this kind of, race to dumb down instead of smarten up, you know, and how dumbing down is more acceptable than smartening up in the so-called black community and all that shit. And there's a whole lot to unpack and a whole lot to talk about. And finally, I'm just gonna go ahead and give my take on it, my opinion on it, and how this plays into larger issues of politics and racial division and all this shit and weird shit going on within the black community, this fragmentation of the black community, and how I really do not really realistically foresee any hint of unification within the black community. I think, I'm of the mind state that the black community is cooked, done, and I can get off into that in a little bit, but like I said, it's more acceptable, seems like, from my perspective, as a 51-year-old black man in America, when we talk about the black community, it's oftentimes more acceptable to dumb down than to ask somebody to dumb down something, as opposed to ask someone to smarten up. And I think that's something that's kind of been in motion since about the second half of the 1980s. I think that's where a lot of this starts. And you can trace a lot of this back to that era. And let's talk about the Kendrick Lamar thing first. Let's start with that, the performance and all that at the Super Bowl. This video really isn't about, the racist ass white folks who wasn't, who they was gonna shit on whoever was black up there. It wouldn't matter if it was Kendrick Lamar, Beyonce, or whoever, and especially if it's a black male rapper, young black male rapper, they was gonna shit on it anyway. It's not, this video is not about them. Fuck them. I don't care nothing about them. Trump supporting MAGA motherfuckers. They not gonna, go for anything that's black, or let alone even liberal or subversive or left wing, or anything that's, that's going against, white male privilege and all that type of bullshit. It's not about that. Fuck them. It's not even really about the Drake stands. who it wouldn't matter what Kendrick did. They're not on Team Kendrick. They're on, they're for Drake. And that's their right to be. That's cool. If that's what they own. Cool. Fuck them too. It's not about them either. This is about that segment of the black community. The niggas. How Chris Rock had the thing about black people versus niggas. It's kind of that's kind of the way I'm seeing a lot of this. It's about sorry ass niggas that don't like any type of substance or depth or thought or anything that challenges you in their art or in their music or in entertainment or whatever the case may be. They don't like none of that shit. Anything where it's not like instantaneous and something that they have to give a little thought to or something they have to peer in to kind of listen closer to. Nope. Fuck that shit. We don't like that shit. It's about those bitch ass niggas. I am diametrically and permanently opposed to that side of things. And when I say these low vibrational, hop on every trend and every fad ass type niggas, it's not these overly materialistic, hyper ghetto niggas. I'm not talking about, when I say ghetto, I'm not talking about ghetto as far as socioeconomics or nothing like that. I'm talking about a mind state. Because a motherfucker can be from the ghetto and not be ghetto. You know what I'm saying? Or not have a ghetto mind state. That's saying about somebody can come from the ghetto, but the ghetto, they live in the ghetto, but the ghetto don't live in them. Kind of that principle. Somebody can have a whole shitload of money. A lot of these rappers do got all the money in the world and the most low class, low rent, piece of shit ass motherfuckers living. I said it. And I meant it too. Fuck them dudes. They trash by choice. That's what they want to be. I guess it's cute to them. I guess it's sexy. I guess that's what's hot out in the streets in 2025. They like being stereotypical. They like being cliches. Cool. Fuck them. This is there's a certain brand of, I'm a proud black man and I don't want to be nothing other than a black man. Niggas just they don't register with me, man. They don't rate with me. I don't really fuck around and have a whole lot of love and sympathy and care for niggas. I just not into a whole bunch of nigga shit. And after watching it, play out for last, like I said, going on getting close to being 40 years, two full generations of this bullshit within a culture that had so much promise and so much to offer and so much possibility, and watching all this shit play out and the way it's been playing out, I've just more than reached my limit with it. I'm just, nah, man, it's just nah. The degeneracy is too much. It's too much. It's over the top, and that could be me just getting a little older. I'm becoming have become the old, cranky, old head black man. I guess fuck it. It is what it is. I don't make no apologies for who or what I am. That's me. I guess if you breathe long enough and you keep seeing enough nonsense and enough bullshit, especially in a culture that you was actively a part of at one time, and you see it just kind of keep reducing itself, to the lowest common denominator, like time and time again, over and over again, and not living up to its one-time promised potential, it's going to affect you. It's going to have an effect on you. And it's going to, you look at who's perpetuating it, and there's enough blame to go around. I blame the fans as much as I blame the people that behind the scenes who market and promote this nonsense, and I blame the artists too. Artists, in quotation marks, if you want to call them artists, enough blame to go around for all this bullshit. You know, that's what it ultimately is. Walk like bullshit, talk like bullshit. It's bullshit. You know, it's not something else. You know, and I get it. You know, it's art is subjective, and one man's floor is another man's ceiling. Different strokes for different folks. You know, just because everybody ain't got to think the way. We're not a monolith. I get it. You know, and I'm really, I totally agree with that. But I'll also say this: you can tell a hell of a lot about a person by what they choose to be entertained by. You know, by the music they take in and listen to and dance to and bop their heads to and shit. And the films that they choose to watch, the television shows that they're into, and the books they read or don't read. In the case of, niggas, Chris Rock told you. Because niggas don't like to read. You want to save your money, put your money in your books. Books are like kryptonite to a niggas. You know, and this ain't no anti-black shit, it's some anti-nigga shit. So, I'm pro-black like a motherfucker. All day. That's the only way I know how to be. You know? Yeah, I gotta get some shit off my chest, man. About this whole thing, because the Kendrick Lamar performance, it's part of something way bigger. Something I've been seeing that's way bigger. It's like this online. You've been seeing all the conversations and shit going back and forth. I like the Kendrick Lamar performance. I don't like it. Greatest thing ever, worst thing ever. Blah 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 blah. It's like I said, I don't care about the MAGA Republicans' thoughts about what they thought of the performance one way or the other. I don't give a fuck about what they think about nothing. You're a racist racist white person. That's you. Okay, why am I gonna care about your opinion? I already know what you think. You gonna go into a situation with you don't like the skin color. It ain't about you don't like the art. You don't like the color of the guy's skin. So it's not about them. And again, it's not even really about the Drake stands. Shit. It's not even about them. But it is about this segment of the black community. That hates anything, any art, any music with substance. Revile it. It's like an affront to them. It makes them feel, it points out their flaws. Points out, their intellectual inadequacies. And they don't like the way it makes them feel. Instead of them, maybe, trying to smarten up, they're going to wallow in the muck of dumbing it down. And that's the way they view life. And I'm not here to tell no man how to be. I can't tell you how to be a man. I got to figure out my shit, So, I'm not here to tell nobody how to be. But I am here to say that there's a segment of the black community and a breed of niggas that I don't fuck with. I just can't even be around. I can't even be in the same room with motherfuckers like that. Can't hold a conversation with them. There's nothing to talk about. At this point, it's 2025 and you still on that bullshit, nigga, you gotta go. If you ain't gotta go, you gotta stay the entire fuck away from me. Gotta stay away from me and people who I care about and love, and people who are of a similar mind state and vibration as me. I'm militant minded about that shit. I don't want your whackness tainting me. Don't want your whack way of looking at reality and the world around us I don't want that to spill over on me. And it's like this weird social experiment going on when we talk about like the Kendrick Lamar thing. It's like you seeing this clear division, between, the more serious minded intellectually minded black people and the dumb, I just want to shake my ass and, and be on bullshit, crash out type niggas. That's what I'm seeing going on. I mean, y'all tell me in the comment section what y'all see going on. And again, ghetto is not a place. Ghetto is a state of mind, and, since the second half of the 1980s, there's been this real push, a real agenda put forth to promote, to me, the worst aspects of being black. What and that's the thing. It was pushed like this is the authentic black, and it's like, nah, it's not. Authentic black is just, living a regular life like white folks do and like everybody else do. But this version that was pushed out was this real niggified, bamified, minstrel show nonsense, masquerading as, back then in the second half of the 80s, 90s, it was called gangster rap. Now it's called, drill music. Before the drill was trap music. And then it's like, that's just drill and trap. That's just updated models of gangster rap. And I think hip hop really got sidetracked and went in a bad direction, not when gangster rap was created, because I think gangster rap, it had a purpose. I think for the first about 5 years of its existence, then it kind of became a cash grab. It just became kind of just a cliche, and people was just doing it for the money. Rappers are just trying to fit themselves into the so-called gangster thing, as a way to make money, as a way to, to get seen or whatever, clout, whatever. And the thing that is real fucked up to me is that agenda got sold to the public and to the black community as that's what it's like to be, a real nigga, to be your authentic black self, you don't take no shit from nobody. You sold the most dope. You carry the biggest guns. You gang banging. You got all this money. Drive big cars. Nigga shit. And that shit really sidetracked a culture that I really had high hopes for. I'm talking about hip hop. When gangster rap came in and kind of eclipsed actual hip hop, it's downhill from there. Been bought and sold long time ago. And I think from about 87, when you talk about, it's when Boys in the Hood, the song came out, Eazy-E. From that point till about 98, that to me was like a golden age for hip hop. But it was also where you start seeing this gangster rap thing coming in, getting bigger and bigger and bigger, until it just finally just kind of, made the brand of hip hop I really was connected to, made it almost, I don't want to say not relevant, but not as visible. You know what I mean? And there's a certain amount of tragedy in that. But going into this other shit, you can really tell the intelligence level of a person. I'll climb on this hill and die on it. You can tell the intelligence, a lot about a person and their intelligence level by what they choose to be entertained by what they take in, by what they choose to occupy themselves with. And as far as Kendrick goes, I like him more than I dislike him. I wouldn't call myself a super fan, but I'm a fan. More of a fan than I'm not a fan. When he drops something, I pay attention to it. And you know, yeah, yeah. I think the last thing he put out, the GNX thing, is my least favorite Kendrick Lamar project. You know, musically, there's only one track on there that I really fucked with, and that was the opening track. Everything else, I was like, yeah, it's okay, but I'm not. You know, I like the Mr. Morale, the double album, a lot more. You know, I like, Good Kid, Mad City a lot more. Damn, I like that a lot more. I like all his other albums a little bit more. Section 80 and all that. You know, so yeah, so that's my relationship to. I'm not a Kendrick stan, but I do respect the dude's his get down. I respect it. I respect his catalog overall. I'm not like I'm gonna say I'm not a fan of the last record as much. That's just my personal taste. My personal thing. And in terms of the performance, I'm mixed on the performance. I liked it more than I didn't like it. And I understand why, you'd have to almost be a Kendrick Lamar fan to really get the reference points and to get the deeper meanings and the little Easter eggs within the performance and stuff. But I like stuff like that. I know there's a lot of people that do like stuff like that. But I also recognize there's a large segment of the black community where that hurts their head, give them headaches. They can't they can't pay attention to that. What does that mean? I don't like that. Anything that's unknown, they automatically discard and don't like. And I don't know if that's environmental or if that's just an innate thing with certain people. I don't know, but there's that. And I think as far as the performance goes, I think his song. I can't even really. I like the performance in and of itself. Again, more than I disliked it. I don't think that was the ideal setting, the Super Bowl, for that particular performance. But I am glad that he did that particular performance. Just to piss off that segment of racist white America. And I'm glad that he got that shit off, via the Super Bowl, via the NFL, because I got some, I'm still shitty about the Colin Kaepernick thing, so I don't really fuck with the NFL like that either. So hey, yeah. So I don't think that it's a case of, if you didn't like it, then you're not a hip-hop fan, or if you didn't like it, you're a dumbass. But I do see a pattern with a lot of people. I see a pattern with people who leaned into that and understood it and got it, versus the people who didn't get it. And when I say that, I'm talking about the black folks, the black community. I don't give a fuck about what the racist white folks thought about nothing. I don't care about that. And I'm not even thinking about the Drake fans. And there is a through line as far as the niggas who didn't get it or didn't want to get it, or, oh man, I had some little fuck ass shit to say about it. This is just a breed of niggas I don't get. I don't relate to them. I don't fuck with them. And I don't really like even having conversations with them. There's nothing really to talk about. You're a dumbass, and you revel in being a dumbass. You thrive on being, a stereotype and a cliche, and that's your thing. Okay, I get it. Cool. Yeah. Well, okay. Shit, nigga go down that hill then. Shit's corny to me, but hey, well, I know. Other points I want to make about. Well, what else I want to get on my chest? Get off my chest. think the black community, the Kendrick Lamar performance is showing me the different cracks and divisions and sectioning off of different parts of the so-called community, you know. And I think there is a certain part of the black community that's cooked. You know, I don't want to quite say that the whole black community is cooked because I'm part of that. But I do see where the Trump voting part of the black community, the lowly ghetto motherfuckers, y'all motherfuckers are cooked. You know, we will never get to where we're going to go as a people, you know, as a black race in the United States of America, as long as y'all niggas exist, as long as y'all niggas are there. You know, it's just niggas make it hard for black people. You know, and I'm not with unifying with niggas. You know, at all. No context. I don't want to even talk to them. I don't want to live in the same neighborhood. Don't want to be in the same area. Have no interest in it. Y'all remember the movie A Soldier Story? Y'all remember Sergeant Waters? The older I get, the more Sergeant Waters makes sense to me. If you haven't seen the movie, go check out A Soldier Story. The character of Sergeant Waters, played by Adolf Caesar. Yeah, y'all need to check that out. It's a great movie. But older I get, the more I relate to Sergeant Waters, you know. And how he, you know, he didn't fuck with no niggas. He ain't fuck with that country ass shit. He ain't fuck with that Bama shit, man. We are upright, upstanding black men. You know, we have to, you know, shoulder some shit. You know, we have to carry the weight. Y'all niggas are y'all with y'all bullshit, you're dragging us behind. That's the parallel I make with these minstrel show clown ass, corny ass, mainstream rap niggas. You dragging us, man. You know, niggas making it hard for black people. So, you know. And yeah. You know. And there's this thing, you know, the casual mainstream rap fans versus the actual hip hop heads and shit. You know, I'm a fan of the underground hip hop myself. So, you know. Kendrick is one of the very few mainstream rap artists that I even fuck with. I mean, I give everything a listen. Whack mainstream shit and dope underground shit and all points in between, and you know, all kind of genre. Everything I come across, I give at least a listen to. And Kendrick is one of the very few mainstream artists where when he drops something, I check to see what he's talking about. And I definitely respect that dude as an artist. And he is a pure artist, which is harder to come by in this genre of music as time goes on, as the years go by. You know, and there's a level of glibness among, you know, these people who's commenting on the Super Bowl show, having these critiques, you know, about, well, what's the revolution? What revolution? What's he talking about, man? We ain't at war with nothing. What's going on, man? What's he talking about? There's a level of dumbness, of dumbassness and glibness, and it's highly offensive to any of us that's on this just thinking, being aware, dare I say woke, you know, type shit. The shit is offensive. How unaware and how dumb some of these people can be when you talk about things like current events and things like politics, or like so politically unaware that it's gross, and it's like embarrassingly sad, you know, when you stop and really think about that, you know. So, this is coming from somebody who grew up on, you know, native tongue and the pro-black era of rap music, pro-black era of hip-hop, your Public Enemy, your Poor Righteous Teachers, Brand Nubian, De La Soul, Tribe Called Quest, that's my school. That's my shit right there. And that stuff was gradually sidelined, sidelined by the powers that be, and replaced with more street, quote unquote, street niggerish gangster rap, you know. And there's a reason why that was allowed to flourish, why it was allowed to flourish and fester and develop in the black community for going on 2 fucking generations. There's a reason why that was allowed to grow and the pro-black shit was stomped out, And you gotta think, a lot of these people who have these opinions are, they're not grown. They're grown, but they're not 51 years old grown. They didn't grow up on having a lot of choices and diversity in hip hop like I did. I had the choice of either listening to Kid and Play or the Beastie Boys or KRS-One, Boogie Down Productions or NWA or, Young MC. There was different choices, different, that I could have went to. All those choices got dwindled down now to all the younger, the newer rap shit. It's like it's not as many, it's not as diverse. The subject matter definitely ain't as diverse, So all these kids, they grew up on that. You feel me? They grew up on that shit. So, they're not as politically astute, not as aware when it comes to critically thinking about any given subject. They just want, what's the biggest thing? What's the most popular thing? That's why Drake was even allowed to happen. It's not because I've heard some music by Drake I thought was decent, for what it was. But that's not about him being a great artist so much as he's the number one guy. That's my guy. It's just like the person who's like the bandwagon fan. You have a whole generation of motherfuckers that are like that. They tend to be Drake fans. Usually how it happens. So Drake was about content. Kendrick is about artistry. 2 different intentions. Drake's about the business of hip hop, whereas Kendrick is about the essence of hip hop, the aesthetic, the grain, the core of it. 2 different places, 2 different intentions, And as far as how this plays out for, I'm not with, the whole thing about what the black community is doing anymore, because the black community has kind of just disappointed me and keep on disappointing me when it comes to things like, just, can't unify on anything. And maybe there's just no unity really to be found, and I've kind of made peace with that. So I'm on this thing about fuck the black community, really, not fuck black people, but fuck that concept of the black community and unifying and coming together. All I can do is be the best Jason I can be and be the best person I can be and lead by example. Take my ass to work, all fucking day long and come home and be about my family, be about my wife, be about my kids to the best of my ability, and live it out like that. When you start talking about trying to do some nation building shit and all that, that's some pie in the sky shit. And as I get older, the more that kind of resonates with me, where it's like I can't concern myself with what the cause is. I'm the cause. I have to be the cause. I have to be, for my cause, I mean, for my issue, for my get down, you know. For about going on 40 years, been this strain of, I think anti-intellectualism and contrarianism, you know, in the black community. I think that's in the larger society, but really I'm not focused on the larger society right now. They can do whatever the fuck they want to do, whatever. But within the black community, there's a strong anti-intellectualism. And this thing with Trump becoming president, having these few contrary ass, Sambo, coon ass niggas, going in that direction, that speaks to the contrarianism. And it is something just real weird going on, because I just think back, I didn't realize it at the time, but how together black people was getting, back in the day, back when I was a kid. Black people was relatively, kind of hung together, kind of stuck together. It wasn't all these different divisions and shit like it is now. And it's not just a monetary thing or a where you live or where you come from thing. It's just sensibilities are real different now, And because I see it with myself, I can't, see myself connecting with, a certain breed of niggas who got the same skin color I got. Just because of how they think about things, how they process, the world around them. How they process that Kendrick Lamar performance. That tells me a lot about, nigga, I can't fuck with you. And I don't want to fuck with you. Stay the fuck away from me, nigga. Straight up. Go ahead, that bullshit. Go ahead, keep being, too old to be wearing your pants below your ass. And hitting licks and doing the bullshit, selling dope or whatever the fuck y'all corny ass niggas is doing. Keep on being that low motherfucker, but you gotta stay the fuck away from me, man. Ain't no way I can unify with that. No way I'm going to unify with that. And that goes back to that thing I was saying about this degeneracy and how degeneracy is now openly celebrated. And I ain't the one to be on some gospel rapping this and that, and I don't believe all rap music got to be positive or got to be political or got to be, I think it should just be varied. It should be diverse, and it's just, I think rap music for me in a lot of, hip hop in a lot of ways, well, the shit that they're mainstream and calling hip hop, I think that shit's cooked. It's been gone for years. The only real hip hop that exists is in the underground, And even with that, the appeal and the reach of that actual hip hop is so limited that it's like I'm even questioning how much longer that's going to be around, or is it going to be much of a factor? Because it's not much of a factor now. The underground hip hop, I mean, but yeah, I'm proud black man, and all that. But man, I cannot do the basic black, man. Can't do y'all basic blacks, man. Y'all gotta go. If you ain't gotta go, then you gotta stay the fuck away from me. I'm a black man. Proud black man. Y'all niggas gotta go though. And if you ain't gotta go, you have to stay the entire fuck away from me. Just some shit I had to get off my chest. Y'all have a good evening. Peace.